Tonight, new calls for Canadian banks to do more to protect customers from online abuse.
They were very abusive messages. They were mean. They were trying to belittle me and bully me.
More e-transfers used to send more harassment. Another victim shares her story in a CBC News investigation. An exclusive look at an undercover police operation as car thieves change tactics.
The market is so lucrative, it's so easy. Cash is king.
How a loophole is helping criminals offload stolen vehicles right here at home.
There are a lot of people who are suddenly discovering they are driving re-VINed vehicles, stolen vehicles.
And runaway horses wreak havoc in the streets of London.
See a horse with no rider, just being led. What's going on there?
What led to the chaos in the city centre?
From CBC News, this is The National with Ian Hennemanzing.
We begin tonight with the CBC News investigation and new calls for Canadian banks to better protect customers from online harassment and abuse. The messages can be hidden inside e-transfers sent from an abuser for as little as a penny. Katie Nicholson has been leading our reporting on this issue for months, and tonight she has the story of another woman targeted and the pleas for action now.
Did I show you the message he sent me on TikTok?
Emma Parsons shows her mom, Carmen, all the unwanted messages she got from her ex after she broke up with him.
Well, they were very abusive messages. They were mean. They were trying to belittle me and bully me.
She blocked him on her phone and every platform, but the abusive messages continued, this time attached to e-transfers.
Well, so the first one was $1, and then I think the other ones were less than $5.
It's a problem Australian banks decided to tackle head on.
I read one that was a series of 900 messages, one sent at a time, saying things like, I want to kill you, I want to kill them all.
Catherine Fitzpatrick spearheaded many of the changes the industry made, including in-app reporting of abusive messages and programs which block abusive language. It even made one of them free to all banks worldwide. Fitzpatrick shared those solutions with the International Banking Federation, which includes the Canadian industry, 2 years ago.
No one deserves to have this abuse. So I would really encourage every bank in Canada to look at the way the Australian banks, some of the UK and the New Zealand banks are starting to move on this problem.
Scotiabank, RBC, TD, CIBC, and BMO did not answer CBC News' questions about what steps they were taking to address the issue. They deferred to the Canadian Bankers Association. In an email, it said its members have policies and procedures in place to protect customers from harassment and encourages people to report abuse to the bank and the police. Emma Parsons' mom, Carmen, wants Canadian banks to do more to prevent abuse.
Why do we wait until someone tells them they have to, especially in this case where it's doing good and would be useful and helpful?
Katie, do we have any sense of how big the problem is in Canada?
Well, we don't even know if Canadian banks are doing any kind of data analysis to measure the scope of the issue. We asked the CBA and it didn't answer. Now, Australian banks did do data analysis. One bank found 8,000 abusive e-transfers over a 3-month period before they made changes. And they also created full web pages with resources and tools for clients who's experiencing this form of financial abuse. And they even offered counseling for clients. And some of those resource pages have panic buttons in case your abuser walks in and you need to clear the screen quickly. It just takes you to a generic banking page. Ian?
Oh, so interesting. Katie Nicholson in Toronto. Police in British Columbia are trying to calm fears after 2 stabbings at a popular tourist destination, one of them fatal. John Hernandez now on the case, the concern in the community, and what's being done to keep people safe.
It's the second time in 3 days this popular promenade has been surrounded by police tape.
It's pretty scary when you think about it. White Rock is a huge touristy place to come.
2 stabbings near the busy pier, the first on Sunday night. That victim, 28-year-old Jatinder Singh, stabbed in the back of his neck while sitting on a bench eating a snack with his wife. He escaped with injuries. The second incident, about 72 hours later. 27-year-old Kulwinder Sohi was attacked and died at the scene. The community shaken by the eerily similar incidents.
It is very scary. Like my son enjoys this area. I almost came here after dinner for a walk with my husband last night, and then you wake up to this. It's heartbreaking.
We urge all residents to exercise caution and remain vigilant.
The victims, both South Asian men in their 20s and newcomers to Canada. Police say the description of the suspect in both cases is also similar.
Given the apparent similarities between this incident and the one which occurred on Sunday evening, police are investigating to determine whether or not there's a conclusive link between these two events.
CBC News spoke to the surviving victim and his wife after the first stabbing. They asked us not to show their faces out of fear for their safety.
From the jacket, the blood goes through his pants, his all shoes on the ground.
The couple said they'd never seen the alleged attacker before.
I just don't want to live here because in the public place there's not any safety to any person.
Police say they have ramped up patrols on this usually family-friendly promenade and are asking any potential witnesses to come forward as they try to figure out if these violent attacks are linked. John Hernandez, CBC News, Vancouver.
Alberta is imposing widespread burn bans as it prepares for what could be another intense wildfire season.
Alberta continues to experience higher than normal wildfire risk and activity for this time of the year.
Already, crews have responded to more than 200 wildfires this year. That's up from the 5-year average of about 120 at this point in the season. Also worth noting, officials say almost every one of this year's fires was caused by human activity. It is another tense evening at Columbia University in New York as a wave of pro-Palestinian protests spread to more campuses across the country. Chris Reyes is at Columbia tonight, where demonstrators are digging in.
Make you suck! Make you suck!
The Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives scorned by students at Columbia University as he denounced them.
My message to the students inside the encampment is go back to class and stop the nonsense.
Johnson accusing the protesters of anti-Semitism, called on the university president to restore order or resign. But with the Gaza Solidarity encampment at Columbia now entering its second week, organizers say their movement is peaceful, calling on the university to cut ties with Israel and any entity that funds the country's war effort in Gaza.
There's a very uplifting community inside. Everybody's supportive of one another. Everybody looks out for one another. But it's really like everybody is there for the sake of showing that we're standing in solidarity with our Palestinian brothers and sisters in Gaza who have been victims of genocide for the past 7 months and under military occupation for the past 75 years.
Columbia's administrators say reports of harassment and vandalism has raised safety concerns on campus, prompting the university to offer online classes as an option.
I'm Jewish myself, and I find it incredibly offensive, some of the anti-Semitism that I'm seeing on campus.
But the protests continue to spread to other universities across the country, along with clashes on Wednesday at campuses in Texas and California. And at Columbia, organizers say they won't back down.
As stated many times, until these demands are met, we do not have any plans of leaving.
Chris, you're at the Columbia campus this evening. Any sense of what could happen next?
Well, Ian, for now, there are no signs of any kind of movement or clearing out of any kind anytime soon at this encampment. We do know that student organizers are currently in negotiations with Columbia officials about next steps, and that includes making sure that protesters who are not affiliated with the university are being told to leave. We also know that officials say for now they're not going to be bringing in any police enforcement to dismantle this setup.
Chris Reyes in New York City. In Gaza, Israel is intensifying its bombing campaign as calls mount for an investigation after reports of a mass grave at a hospital in Gaza. Sasha Petrusik takes us there.
Next to Nasser Hospital in southern Gaza, there seems to be a whole new layer of horror underground. Bodies shown being dug up in video shot for CBC News. Hamas calls it a mass grave, claiming many had been tortured. We've been digging for 5 days, says civil defense official Mohammed al-Mughai. We've found 320 bodies. He says some had their hands tied, others were missing heads. Karima El Ras has been looking for her 21-year-old son Ahmed since he was killed in January. I have been coming all this time, she says, until I found his body. The hospital was recently abandoned by Israeli troops after they said they'd finished searching it for Hamas fighters. Israel calls the allegations that they buried the bodies in mass graves baseless, though it says soldiers did dig up some bodies looking for hostages.
The examination was carried out respectfully while maintaining the dignity of the deceased.
The UN is pushing for an inquiry.
We are stressing the need for international investigations. There's a history here of impunity for gross violations.
Washington also wants to know more.
Those reports were deeply disturbing. We have been in touch at multiple levels with the Israeli government.
This comes as U.S. President Joe Biden prepares to send $15 billion in military aid to Israel, $1 billion in humanitarian aid to Gaza.
The security of Israel is critical.
The U.S. has also been working to release an Israeli American injured as he was kidnapped by Hamas militants on October 7th. Hamas released a video of Hirsch Goldberg Poland, the first sign he might still be alive, but it's not clear when the video was taken or under what conditions.
We're relieved to see him alive, but we are also concerned about his health and well-being.
He is among some 130 hostages still believed to be held by Hamas in Gaza, though no one knows how many are still alive. Sasha Petrusik, CBC News, Washington.
And along with that aid package for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan, the bill signed by Joe Biden also moves to ban TikTok in the United States, the social media company's CEO denouncing the potential ban.
Rest assured, we aren't going anywhere. We are confident and we will keep fighting for your rights in the courts.
That promised court battle could potentially delay the ban. Barring that, it will come into effect if the company's China-based owner doesn't sell it to an approved buyer within a year. Officials say they fear the Chinese government could use the app to influence, spy on, and harvest data from millions of users. To a bitter political fight unfolding in this country and some blunt language used as the Conservative leader took aim at the Prime Minister. Kate McKenna now with what was said and the reaction tonight.
23 days we've been here.
The leader of the Conservative Party of Canada making what he says is an unplanned pit stop.
No, we were just going along the highway. I had heard about you guys on the news.
Pierre Poilievre offered encouragement to anti-carbon tax protesters who've been camped out for more than 3 weeks and who took these videos, sharing them online.
Everyone's happy with what you're doing.
Really? That's awesome to hear.
He also had blunt criticism for the Prime Minister.
People believed his lies. Everything he said was bullshit.
But some of the same people were involved in other protests at the New Brunswick-Nova Scotia border, originally about pandemic public health measures. And at least one F. Trudeau flag is visible in the video.
And so when I axe the tax, then you guys are going to be able to go home.
Every politician has to make choices about what kind of leader they want to be.
The Prime Minister accused Poilievre of courting conspiracy theorists and extremists, calling on him to reject a recent endorsement from U.S. conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Alex Jones is a proven liar and conspiracy theorist who has to pay hundreds of millions of dollars because he lied about the Sandy Hook killing that killed 20 little kids.
In a statement, Poilievre's spokesperson said, "We do not follow the individual you mention or listen to what he has to say. It is the endorsement of hardworking, everyday Canadians that Conservatives are working to earn." It's the latest in a bitter political fight.
He is trying to connect Mr. Poilievre with, extreme voices.
But this pollster doesn't see the Prime Minister's jabs taking a bite out of the opposition leader's popularity.
That doesn't mean over time does the accumulation of all of these evidence points lead to someone maybe saying, I'm uncomfortable with him being the Prime Minister of Canada.
That pollster says Poilievre's supporters are united in their desire for change, but don't necessarily agree on other subjects. So there is a political risk in cozying up to any movement considered extreme. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Ottawa.
There's an update to a story we brought you on Monday. Cuba says it's apologizing to the family of a Quebec man who died while on vacation in Varadero after Cuban authorities sent the wrong body back to Canada. The family of Faraj Jarjour was shocked to discover a much younger, tattooed man in the casket that was delivered. The identity of that body still not clear. Cuba's foreign minister says he's conveyed heartfelt condolences and apologies, and that he was in contact with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Melanie Joly, as they investigate what happened and try to find Jarjour's body. A chaotic scene unfolded in central London as 5 runaway horses tore through the streets of the city centre. Margaret Evans shows us the damage after the animals were spooked during a military exercise.
So surreal, it looked like a dream. And a scary one at that. 2 of the riderless military horses running full tilt into morning traffic. They caught news photographers stationed outside a government inquiry by surprise. The rest of their panicked run captured by startled pedestrians and motorists.
3 horses went past me at full gallop without riders, which obviously was quite extraordinary. So nudged out a little bit more to check it was safe to pull out. And then another horse came around the corner with a rider on it and just missed my cab.
More than one vehicle was damaged, including a bus with its windows shattered. The broken glass, perhaps why one of the horses appeared to be bleeding heavily. All 5 belonged to the household cavalry, often seen taking part in royal pageants and military parades. They were apparently spooked by noise at a building site during exercises near Buckingham Palace, throwing their riders. 3 of the riders and a cyclist were injured and taken to hospital.
It was quite overwhelming. Yeah. See, we're in central London to see a horse with no rider just being led. We thought, what's going on there? Yeah.
The military says all 5 horses were found and taken for veterinary care. One witness's video showed members of the public apparently calming a horse. 2 others ran quite a long route, finally recovered in East London, a fair distance from Buckingham Palace. Margaret Evans, CBC News, London.
A CBC News investigation reveals just how many police officers in Ontario have been suspended for allegations of gender-based violence.
A woman might have said to her partner, like, stop doing this or I'm going to call the police, and they'll say, I am the police.
What advocates say is behind the figures. A Newfoundland refinery avoids shutdown by going green.
Who knew that something good could come from all the French fries we've been eating?
And one woman's party plan goes terribly wrong.
It imported all 487 of my contacts and invited them to this birthday party.
We're back in 2.
Just crushed from behind. Sean Lemon.
Former Calgary Stampeder Sean Lemon has been suspended indefinitely from the Canadian Football League. The CFL says an investigation found that Lemon bet on games in 2021, including one he played in. But the league says there's no evidence those games were affected by his wagers. Lemon is a 3-time Grey Cup champ, and he retired 2 weeks ago after 13 seasons. A CBC News investigation into the suspension of police officers in Ontario reveals a third of those cases involved allegations of gender-based violence. Julie Ireton takes us through the numbers that have victims demanding change.
How's it going today?
Carrie Lewis helps families fleeing abuse, including women who have left homes they shared with police officers.
And those are always the cases that are the most frightening for our staff.
Kelly Donovan knows those concerns well. The now former constable left an abusive relationship with a police officer. She now researches police culture and supports whistleblowers.
You'll hear that the woman might have said to her partner, like, stop doing this or I'm going to call the police. And they'll say, I am the police.
According to data compiled by CBC News, 1 in 3 officer suspensions in Ontario since 2013 concerned allegations of gender-based violence. That includes domestic abuse, sexual assault, and harassment that occurred both on and off duty. This political science professor says the culture of policing is part of the problem.
Because fellow officers are unlikely to report them because they want to respect that culture of policing and that culture of we protect one another, which creates what we call this blue wall of silence.
This former police chief says he's disheartened by the data, but he says officers are human.
Those types of allegations and crimes have very significant impacts on a lot of people and badly impact victims. And keeping in mind that these are events that occur in the officer's private life.
Our investigation found that about a third of the officers convicted of crimes involving gender-based violence went back to work as officers. There's no rule against this unless an officer is sentenced to jail. Carrie Lewis calls that troubling.
They should be held to a much higher standard than anyone else because they hold such power.
Like the police, Lewis says her employees are responsible for protecting vulnerable people, but she says workers here would not be allowed back on the job after those kinds of convictions. Julie Ireton, CBC News, Ottawa.
Some Canadians are shocked to discover their newly purchased car was once stolen.
At a dealership. Yeah. Turns out it was stolen? It was stolen.
CBC News investigates how thieves get away with it and the operation to stop it.
They're right here at the intersection getting ready to go.
But first, one woman tells her harrowing story of being kidnapped by Hamas.
They didn't bring us water to drink. They didn't bring us food. They just left us there.
And her desperate plea for her husband's release.
We don't even know if Keith is alive. We don't know.
The National breaks down the stories shaping our world. Next. The skies over Athens turned an eerie orange on Tuesday after strong winds carried dust from the Sahara Desert. It was the most intense dust storm to hit the city in 5 years. Today, while still hazy, it was mostly gray. 5,000 Quebec liquor store workers walked off the job today for a 2-day strike. The snow didn't stop these workers demanding job security and benefits. The SAQ union called the strike after contract negotiations with their employer stalled. Some liquor stores will remain open during the strike, but service may be limited. Politicians, investors, and workers in Newfoundland and Labrador are celebrating a job-saving new project. As Peter Cowan tells us, the decades-old oil refinery has been remade for a greener future.
Saving jobs while getting greener. That's the hope from politicians and investors as this old-school oil refinery starts a new life, producing lower-emissions biodiesel for trucks and ships.
We're aiming to, again, decarbonize very difficult to traditionally decarbonize industries. So we feel like there's a lot of demand there.
When demand for fuel dried up during the pandemic, there were fears this local economic powerhouse would close, costing hundreds of good-paying jobs. But investors took a chance, and now workers are dealing with the soybean oil, rendered animal fat, and even waste cooking oil flowing into the refinery.
Who knew that something good could come from all the French fries we've been eating?
Last month, this ship delivered the first 300,000 barrels of biodiesel to California, where strict fuel regulations are forcing companies to use cleaner fuels. Officials say the refit will make this province cleaner as well. Greenhouse gas emissions will go down 1 million tons annually.
It represents something new for Newfoundland and Labrador.
The provincial government has been criticized for trying to grow the province's offshore oil industry, but the premier says this shows Newfoundland and Labrador can benefit from oil and turn to greener options.
We have all the key ingredients, whether that's in the hydroelectric space or the hydrogen space or in this facility here in the transition. So we can win on both sides.
Right now, the refinery is producing renewable biodiesel, but it can produce aviation fuel. The company says that's their next goal. What they need is airlines willing to pay a premium price for a renewable product. Peter Cowan, CBC News, Come By Chance, Newfoundland.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world. We investigate the new twist in how car thieves get rid of vehicles.
This is a national issue.
But first,
We weren't allowed to do anything.
an Israeli woman describes her ordeal as a prisoner of Hamas and the stories girls told her of being abused.
I can't tell you how hard it was for me not being able to mother them, to look after them.
Now she campaigns on behalf of those still held hostage,
Keith needs me. I need him.
including her husband.
We don't even know if Keith is alive. We don't know.
It will soon be 200 days since Aviva Siegel's husband was abducted. She spoke with Chris Brown about the pain of their separation and the horrors she can't forget.
Aviva Siegel was freed after 51 days in captivity by Hamas, but she is still in agony.
Leaders of the world, you walking, start running. You need to run. I'm a human being. I've got a heart. I'm finished. And I can't even think about if I feel like this, what Keith feels.
Thank you very much for talking to us. The 63-year-old said she wanted to tell her story to keep up the pressure so her husband Keith and the other hostages can come home. Aviva and Keith, who will have his 65th birthday this week, lived in the community of Kfar Aza near Israel's border with Gaza for 4 decades. They had just woken up on October the 7th when Hamas gunmen attacked.
I remember saying to Keith, they're here. They're walking here, just next to the door. They just opened the door like any door opens, and they pushed themselves inside. There must have been 15 of them, with guns, with knives.
At least 60 people were murdered that day in Kfar Aza. Keith and Aviva were taken, the gunmen forcing them into their own car and driving them to Gaza, wearing nothing but their pajamas.
Keith and I were moved 13 times, so we met lots of terrorists. Each of one of them were worse than the other. They were like monsters. One of the times, they took us down into a tunnel. It was just the 3 of us, Keith and I and a girl that was with us. It was nearly completely and utterly dark with no oxygen. They didn't bring us water to drink. They didn't bring us food. They just left us there. And I can't explain what that feeling is, that you're lying there and you feel that it's going to be your last breath and that you're going to die.
At best, she says, they often only got 1 meal a day, usually pita bread. When it was time to be relocated, they were dressed in traditional Arab clothing and moved through Gaza's streets.
One of the times we were brought into a house and one of the doors was closed and we could hear some children and a mother, and they used to close the door while the mother used to go to the bathroom, but we knew they were there.
I know as the weeks have passed since your release, you've spoken more and more about some of the violence that you witnessed, not just involving yourself, but also involving others, including women and including sexual violence. What can you tell me specifically about that?
One of the girls went to the bathroom, and when she came back, I could see that something happened. I gave her a hug, knowing that I'm not allowed to hug, because we weren't allowed to. We weren't allowed to do anything. We just had to sit or lie down on the mattress and not move. She was very quiet for a couple of hours, and then she came up to me and she whispered and she said, he told me not to say anything. And he said that if I do, he's going to kill me. He touched me. I can't tell you how hard it was for me not being able to mother them, to look after them, because I wasn't allowed to.
On the 50th day in captivity, she was told by one of her captors that she alone would be returning to Israel. Keith's freedom was not part of that deal.
I went to Keith. He was lying on a mattress on the floor. And I gave him a hug. And I told him that I'm going, that he said that I'm going to Israel, and that he has to be strong for me. and I'm going to be strong for him.
Since her release, Siegel has campaigned relentlessly for the hostages still in Gaza to be freed. She visited Washington to speak to U.S. lawmakers and the United Nations in Geneva. But as the painful months of negotiations have dragged on, there is still no hostage deal.
I've been back for nearly 5 months. Keith is there, 5 months without me. We've been married for 43 years. Keith needs me. I need him. His grandchildren need him. His kids need him. His family needs him. And he's still there going through hell. We don't even know if Keith is alive. We don't know.
The last week, Israel's been preoccupied with Iran and other issues that have not been Hamas or the hostages. How difficult has this period been for you?
Very difficult. It's been very difficult because I just want Keith home. And anything that'll happen that won't bring Keith home is very bad for me.
Some hostage families have blamed the government of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for wanting to continue the war. Aviva says all world leaders could do more.
We need them back. I think that the leaders and everybody have spoken enough. A half a year is a lot of words to say, a lot of time to say whatever they want to say. I want a better life for the people that live in Gaza, that aren't terrorists. I want them to have food. I want them to have water. I want them to have houses. I want them to live. People live once. So I want for them a better life too. Not only for me and my family.
Chris, that is a very harrowing story, and we know some of the families of hostages have staged protests outside the home of Israel's prime minister, even tonight, blaming Benjamin Netanyahu for not doing more. Did she speak about why she thinks they have not been released?
Well, Aviva really kept her message away from any kind of blame except for blaming Hamas. The hostage families are split. They don't all agree on tactics, just that they all want their loved ones back. The Netanyahu government has faced a lot of accusations from families that they're stalling because they want to keep attacking Hamas. But Aviva only spoke about the need to get the hostages home without really specifying what she thought Israel needed to do or needed to put on the negotiating table to get the job done.
And what's your sense of how she's holding up?
Well, her frustration is what really comes across quite strongly. She said she's tired of begging. What more can I do that I haven't already done? And she stressed over and over again that she's scared for her husband, scared for the conditions he's likely in, and also scared that she has no idea where he is. Ian.
Chris Brown in Jerusalem. Thanks. Next, thieves are finding a loophole to sell stolen cars back to Canadians.
He is taking a vehicle that is known to be stolen and essentially cleaning it, turning it into a vehicle that looks like it's never been stolen.
He's a cleaner in that aspect.
What police are calling for to crack down on the issue. Next. We're taking you on an exclusive ride-along as police crack down on auto theft.
He's pushing off. This guy is moving fast.
Crooks have figured out how to make stolen vehicles seem legit. That's why more and more they're being resold in Canada.
At a dealership. Yeah. Turns out it was stolen? It was stolen.
David Common is back on the case of Canada's car theft crisis. He breaks down the criminal trickery that's putting Hot Wheels on car lots.
Speed's about, they're going about 120.
We're inside a police surveillance operation in Peel, just west of Toronto.
She burns a red, won't be able to catch up here.
Investigators are closing in on a couple they say are connected to the region's exploding auto thefts. What's happening here reveals a huge shift in what happens to cars after they're stolen.
All right. This is stolen from?
Canada.
From Canada?
Yes.
Less than a year ago, we were in West Africa locating vehicles stolen from Canada and sent abroad.
What can I see? There's the original Quebec license plate.
Back then, most stolen cars were exported, but that's changing. As thieves have moved to armed home invasions to seize keys, they're also increasingly keeping stolen vehicles in Canada.
So these are a bunch of stolen, recovered vehicles that we've pulled off the road.
These are pretty high value here.
Yeah, like you're sitting here, you're looking at, well, close to $1 million worth of cars.
Detective Sergeant Greg O'Connor runs Peel Regional Police's auto theft team. These are just some of the hundreds of stolen vehicles they've recovered. And increasingly, thieves have manipulated this 17-digit code. It's what's known as re-VINing. The vehicle identification number, or VIN, is unique to each vehicle. If it's stolen, the VIN is flagged. But criminals are replacing that VIN, harvesting one from a vehicle, a similar vehicle that's been totaled, or maybe one that's actually registered in another province or U.S. state. Now, how can that be? Well, it turns out government registration systems, they don't talk to one another. Police, like Peel's deputy chief, Nick Milinovich, say that has to change.
The reality is this is a national issue. And that's why a national registry that moves itself beyond any sort of provincial jurisdiction is important in all capacities.
So this is the replacement for the stolen vehicle.
Yeah, I went and bought my own.
Derek Crocker spent 60 grand on what turned out to be a re-VIN vehicle, buying from a place you might be surprised at.
At a dealership.
Yeah.
Turns out it was stolen?
It was stolen. And the whole reason you buy it from dealership is so you don't have to worry about dealing with that sort of thing, right?
This was that truck for sale in the dealer's lot. From the get-go, there were little tells. The app to remotely start the vehicle never worked.
It was telling me my gas mileage was different, all sorts of things. It was telling me the vehicle's in a different location.
Derek figured it was just a malfunction until he was in an accident. The body shop used the VIN on his dash to order parts, but those parts wouldn't fit. That's when Derek turned detective.
So I Googled the VIN number that was on my truck, and I found a truck for sale in Utah.
A second Ford F-150 with the same VIN. Turns out the VIN on his own truck had been replaced by criminals. The truck then sold to the dealership that Derek bought from.
It's crazy.
It was crazy. I would never expect that.
There are a lot of people who have suddenly discovering they are driving re-VINed vehicles, stolen vehicles.
Yeah.
And insurance does not cover the loss. Derek had to fight for his money back from the dealer. The criminals, meanwhile, made thousands.
The market is so lucrative. It's so easy. Cash is king.
Peel Police invited us on this surveillance operation to spotlight how re-VINing is booming.
We're seeing younger and younger kids doing this, unfortunately, being recruited and pushed into this. Gangs is a massive problem.
O'Connor's undercover team is staking out a house now.
The green car?
Yeah, I see him.
Car.
Watching for their male suspect, so we have to keep our distance.
Would I be right that his purported role is that he is taking a vehicle that is known to be stolen and essentially cleaning it, turning it into a vehicle that looks like it's never been stolen?
Yeah, so he's a cleaner in that aspect.
Shit clean, boy.
Police allege the man they're tracking has been selling stolen cars with forged VINs and say his Instagram is full of car buyer testimonials.
Man got me this new Jetta. I'm pretty stoked. I called up Milton. I told him I got my money up. I need plates. I need a car. And he got it just like that.
You give me cash, you got your car, you on the road. You ain't got to go to Service Ontario. You don't got to do no running around.
After hours of waiting, the man emerges.
He just closed the trunk of the SUV and now back in the house.
Detectives pursue discreetly. They don't want to blow their months-long investigation. Passing by them at intersections, that's the suspects there at the red light.
They're right by the big water tower on the R side.
Officers take turns following.
So they're right here at the intersection getting ready to go.
So that the suspects, a man in this silver car and a woman companion in the green one, don't get tipped off. Both vehicles pull into a Costco gas station. That's when we get our first look at the man.
It looks like they're lining up for the pumps here. I'm gonna have to work.
As both vehicles leave, investigators believe they may be about to catch them in the act.
He's pushing off. This guy's moving fast.
So there's two Service Ontarios up here, right by Airport
There's
Road.
a Service Ontario up at Chrysler, still down on the 410.
Court documents allege the man revinned dozens of vehicles, exploiting a provision at Service Ontario allowing a person who's neither the vehicle owner nor purchaser to register a change in ownership, all as auto theft losses continue to grow.
In 2023, which was last year, Ontario alone is expected to be over $1 billion. So that gives you an idea of the scope.
Police believe their suspect is heading to Service Ontario now, but worry the pair may split up, so choose to make a move on them.
That's them right there.
We drive past just as officers surround their suspects. The man, 24-year-old Milton Hilton, faces 168 charges for trafficking stolen cars and passing fraudulent documents. He was released after a night in jail. Nothing has yet been proven in court.
We've been talking about auto theft for months and months and months. There's federal money, provincial money, there's a lot more arrests. Are things getting better?
We're not going to rest our way out of this issue. There's a lot more talk and a lot more people that are coming forward and wanting to stop this. But right now, it's a massive issue, a big problem.
David, how can you tell if your car has been revinned?
Well, it can be hard, but there are two locations on a car where it's most accessible to see the VIN. The first is on the dash itself, on the driver's side, looking from the outside. The second is on the pillar in between the front and back seat when that driver's side door is open. There's typically a sticker in those locations. It can be a metal plate, but very often these days a sticker. Look at that sticker. Is it bubbling at all in any way, shape, or form? Is the ink maybe bleeding through it? That can be a telltale sign. Also, look at private pay sites like Carfax. If the vehicle's VIN has a history of being registered, sold, or serviced in another jurisdiction far away from you are, that can be a red flag. Finally, police and insurance officials say watch out when buying something online, particularly from social media. You want proof of who's selling it and proof that they are the owner.
David Common, he in Toronto, thanks. Next, a mom accidentally sends everyone in her phone an invite to her daughter's birthday party.
Derek Eyeroll, he received an invitation. Jess hit her car in parking lot.
The panic that ensued in our moment. Well, that's Emily and Oscar King with their baby Ivy, who's turning 1 in June. Her mom has already started planning for her birthday, but she made a little mistake when she was sending out the invitations. She accidentally sent them to every single contact in her phone. Nearly 500 people, included her boss, ex-partners, people she doesn't even remember. Her priceless reaction is our moment.
It imported all 487 of my contacts and invited them to this birthday party. I was mortified. I was going to have a birthday party for my daughter for her first birthday. So I was going on Evite to start to create this invitation. And then at the top of that page, it says import phone contacts. So I'm like, perfect. I can just go through and select those phone contacts that I want to be at the party. All of a sudden, it says guest list 487. Wait, what? And all the blood just like drains from my body. And I'm just like, just go cold. I'm like, I don't even know 487 people. I'm like, what do you mean guest list 487? And I realized that everyone had been invited that had ever been stored on my phone. Not only did it invite my boss, all of my coworkers, but it sent an invitation based off of how they're stored in my phone. Derek Eyeroll, he received an invitation. Jess hit her car in parking lot.
Evite eventually reached out and sent me $500 from a DoorDash to help pay for all the food at the parties. It's kind of just been crazy, but at the end of the day, I think it'll be a really fun party.
Can you imagine being the person who bumped her car in a parking lot years ago and suddenly you're invited to any birthday party, much less a kid's 1-year birthday party? Though, speaking of somebody who accidentally has tweeted out a text that was meant for a friend twice, I totally get it. And Evite, by the way, has changed their software. They call it the Emily Hot Fix. You can't do what she did anymore. Thanks for being with us. You can watch anywhere, anytime on the free CBC News app and subscribe to the National's YouTube channel. I'm Ian Hannamansing in Vancouver. See you tomorrow night.